Right, I'm going to come and do a short video for foot and ankle, aiming to try and keep it to about 10 minutes. So the first thing we're going to do, if you're a regular of mine, we usually roll the foot with a ball. So you've either got a spiky ball or you can use a tennis ball or a golf ball. You can have your socks on or your socks off, whatever suits you. But place the ball just below the base of the first big toe on the right foot. Push down into the ball and roll it along the line of that long bone all the way down and then into the centre of the heel bone. Then gently just come back to the second toe. Push it down into the ball all the way along the long bones into the centre of the heel. Roll gently to the third toe. Push down and back all the way through to the centre of the heel. Rolling back to the fourth. Down and back all the way through to the heel, coming back to the little toe and down that outside edge of that foot, widening the little toe edge along the ball and then coming into the centre of the heel. Then push the heel down onto the ball for a minute and then release, and then bring the ball back level with the other foot and place it just below the ball of the foot. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see in a minute. And reach your heel to the floor so you get a calf stretch. So if I turn sideways on, the ball of the foot is just over the top of the ball, and then you're reaching through the heel so you get a nice calf stretch up the back of the calf, and then try and grow tall through the crown of the head. The taller you grow, the more of a stretch you might feel if your fascia is tight. So the fascia connects all the way from the tip of your head to the tip of your toes, and you may have some calf tightness too, but you can add some fascial tightness stretching if you grow tall. Breathe into that stretch and try and imagine that calf muscle melting and sliding and releasing down the back of the leg. And then releasing off. And then you're going to place that foot on the floor. And whenever you've rolled a foot, take a minute to just notice how that feels compared to the left foot. So now, I feel that that foot is much wider and more connected into the floor than my left foot, which feels like it's sat on top of the floor. So allow the brain to recognise that sensation, and that's a good sensation, and that's the sensation you want when your foot is on the floor. And so we're going to now work the other foot. Bring the ball to the base of your first toe on the left and roll it, push down and back all the way to the centre of your heel bone. Then gently come back to the second toe. Push down and through the long bone of the foot, all the way back into the centre of the heel bone. Back up to the third toe, push it down into the ball, rolling the soft tissues through the sole of the foot, all the way back to the centre of your heel bone. Coming back up to the fourth, pushing down and back, all the way through the long bone, all the way to the centre of the heel. Last one up to the base of the fifth, pushing down, widening that little toe side, out to the side, all the way down that lateral edge, and then back into the centre of the heel, and then just push down onto the ball through the centre of the heel, and then release. And then, so you can see what I'm doing, the ball is just behind the ball of my foot, and then I'm going to release that heel bone, trying to have the legs level, down into the floor, and then I'm growing up tall. Imagine lengthening your spine, lengthening your neck, and floating your helium balloon head up to the sky as you allow that calf muscle to melt and stretch and release down the back of that shin bone. Really breathing, and as you breathe out, release the muscle tension. Okay, focus on relaxing. And then releasing that foot, I'll roll the ball away, and just bring that foot next to the other foot and take a moment for the brain to register that that foot now should feel like the right foot does, and they should feel nice and even, they should feel wide, you should feel the contact at the base of the big toe and across the ball of the foot to the base of the little toe. The weight wants to be more into the base of the big and the base of the little toe because you have a transverse arch which lifts up the metatarsal heads between there. And then you want to feel the weight on the centre of your heel bone. So take a moment to notice whether it's on the inside edge, whether you stand rolled in on your heels or whether you stand rolled out on your heels, and try and find, so if you gently roll your heels in and out, Try and find where you feel that central point is of your range, and that's where you should stand. So if you're somebody who wears the outside of your feet, you lean out. If you're somebody that wears the inside of your shoes, the soles of your shoes, you wear in. So you want to find that central point and have nice balanced feet. Then we're going to do a little bit of exercise for those muscles we've just released. So what I want you to do is, and I'm going to sit on a chair, you can do it in standing or sitting, but I can explain it to you better if I'm sat down looking at my feet, or I need to come back so you can see my feet. Right, so base of your big toe, base of your little toe, centre of your heel bone. You've got an imaginary guy rope to the base of the little toe and the base of your big toe from the centre of your heel. And I want you to visualise that you're shortening that rope from the heel bone to the base of the little and to the base of the big toes, and trying to draw the ball of the foot slightly closer to the heel, and you'll get a sensation of doming through the sole of the foot and releasing back down and widening and flattening the foot. Again, drawing the ball of the foot towards the heel by pulling the base of the little toe and the base of the big toe slightly closer, and then releasing. It's a very small movement, but you should feel the muscles in the sole engaging, drawing them in, and make sure you're not clawing your toes, because it's not about the long muscles, clawing them from the calf muscles, under the deep calf muscles. It's about the foot, the sole of the foot. One more time, drawing the ball of the foot towards the centre of the heel, lifting and doming the sole of the foot, and releasing off. Lovely. Then I want you to feel the base of your big toe and push your big toes down into the floor, and try and lift the other 4 toes away from the floor. You're not lifting them high, you're literally just hovering them whilst keeping the big toes pushed down. And then release those 4 toes down and push those 4 toes down while you lift your big toes off the floor. Again, some people can lift them really high, some people just hover them, but you're just getting that lift. Placing your big toes down, push them down into the floor and lift the other 4 toes. And then place those 4 toes down, push them down and lift your big toes. And hopefully you're doing that without rolling the feet. So you're just doing it using the muscles that are required and not trying to use other muscles. So those are a few little things to wake up the foot. There's another exercise we're just going to do now to stretch the foot. You're going to place your fingers, one finger between each of your 2 toes. So you should end up with your little finger, ring finger, middle finger and index finger between the toes in the foot, and you're trying to push those fingers through so you can rest your fingertips on the top of the foot whilst the heel of your hand is on the ball of the foot. And then you're going to do some ankle circles, and it's a really nice one for stretching out the balls of the feet and opening up the sole of the foot, and then reversing the circle. And then releasing that hand, and then placing that foot down and doing the same on the other side. Lifting up the other foot, placing your little finger, your ring finger, your middle finger and your index finger between the toes, pushing them through as far as you can, hopefully, so the fingertips can rest over the top of the foot and the heels of your hands resting under the ball of your foot. And again, circling the ankle. Make big wide circles with that foot. If you feel really tight between those toes and it's uncomfortable, that is very normal when you start this exercise. The first time I did it, I could barely get my fingers between my toes. It was agony. Now it's quite comfortable. And releasing the other way, circling round. It's all about gaining length and balance in all the muscles around the body. And we're obviously starting with the foot and ankle complex today. And release the fingers out and then place the foot back down on the floor. So we've done some exercises for the actual foot itself and some releases for the foot itself. We're now going to come back up into standing and we're going to do a few releases for the calf. So we're going to step back with one leg. Look down at that foot and make sure it's not turned out and that the toes are straight in front of your ankle. Keep the heel bone glued into the floor. And then holding onto a chair or even a wall or a worktop, you're just going to bend the front knee forwards, stretching out the calf muscle. So you're lengthening from the heel to the back of the knee, just above the knee. So you need to keep the knee absolutely straight. And you're just lengthening that muscle out and breathing. Now you've already stretched that when we had the foot on the ball, so it may not feel too tight. If it does feel tight, it's an exercise you need to do. Breathing one more time. Think about again as you out breath, the muscle is relaxing and softening and melting down the calf. And then stepping off, placing the other foot back. Again, make sure the toes are in front of the ankle and not turned out. Glue the heel bone down, lock the knee straight, bend the front knee until you find that stretch point. Breathe and focus on melting the muscle on the out breath, letting it go. And one more breath. Then we want to just do a little bit of foot and ankle work, strengthening work. As we get older, balance is the biggest, loss of balance is the biggest indicator of falling when you become older. And the biggest indicator of loss of balance is weakness in your foot and ankle complex. So this little foot series we're going to do now, turn sideways, is really good for that. So think about your 3 points in your feet, your base of your big toe, base of your little toe, heel bone. And you're going to push up onto the ball of your foot. Then you're going to drop your knee forwards and then release your heel down and coming back up. Pushing up, dropping your knees forwards, releasing your heels down and coming back up. Pushing up. As you drop the knee forwards, then reach the heel bone. Try and reach the heel away from the ball of the foot as you go down and then coming back up. Dropping the knee, reaching back, straightening the knee. And then reverse, drop the knee, peel the heel, pushing up and coming down. Drop the knee, peel the heel, push up and down. Drop the knees, peel the heel, push up, and one more. Drop the knees, peel the heels, push up and coming back down. So that's a really nice little strengthening exercise. Then the last thing we want to do is look at the gait movement of the foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a step stance and we're just going to practice pushing off from the back foot as you land onto the front foot, like you would when you're walking. But what I want you to do is as you focus on the weight transferring from the heel through, comes up the outside of the foot to the base of the little toe, across the ball of the foot into the big toe where you push off. I want you also to feel the glute engage as you push. So you're pushing forwards, feeling this muscle wrapping, because a lot of your propulsion comes from hip extension as well as pushing through the foot and ankle. So I want you to feel that leg active. Push. And push. And push. And push. And push. And then we'll switch legs. Again, standing really nice and tall. As you push off behind onto the front leg, you're engaging, you're wrapping your glute on the side that is the back leg. Pushing off. Pushing off. Feeling the footwork as the ankle pushes you forwards in that propulsion. Lovely. And then the last little thing we'll do, we'll add the shoulders. We're going to do a toy soldier. First of all, you're just going to float one arm up, and then you're going to switch the arms, and then switch the arms, and switch the arms. Then we're going to come up onto our balls of our feet, and we're going to drop the opposite heel. And then as you push up, you're going to switch the arms as you drop the opposite heel. So you're just going to do a marching action. Feel that pushing through the ankles. An opposite arm swing. Lovely. And then the last thing that's really important about the foot and ankle, as we mentioned before, is balance. So we've stretched out and worked some of the foot muscles, we've stretched out and worked some of the ankle muscles and calf muscles. So now we're just going to check our one leg balance. So you're going to keep your pelvis square, and you're not going to, as you lift your opposite leg, there will be a little bit of a shift onto the standing leg, but what I don't want to see is I don't want to see you collapse that leg when you lift this one up. You want to keep nice and straight so your glute is working. And you're just going to stand, try and relax your shoulders, try and grow tall through the crown of the head, and feel the 3 points of your feet on the foot that's on the floor. Feel the base of the big toe and the big toe working, base of the little toe working, centre of the heel bone, and just challenge your balance. Adults should be able to stand on one leg for 30 seconds without it being an issue, or over 30 seconds basically. So if you can't stand on one leg for 30 seconds, then you need to practice. You can clean your teeth whilst you're doing it, or you know, there's other things that you can do in the day where you can wait and boil a kettle while you're making your coffee, stand on one leg. And then do the same on the other side. Find your balance point, find the 3 corners of your foot, float the other leg up, and then try and lengthen through the body. Lift and engage your centre slightly to give you more stability at the pelvis. Imagine you're standing down into the tripod foot. Lots of balance. If there's big movements, your body is not reacting as quickly to correct your movement before it does, so you sway more. The stiller you are, the more able your body is to react to small movements. And obviously, the better you are at reacting to small movements, the less likely you are to get out of your centre of gravity and fall over. If you're bad at this and you're wobbling around a lot, you're more likely to fall out of your centre of gravity and fall over. And releasing down. Lovely. So that was just a quick workout for the foot and ankle complex.